And we are your featured speakers today. My name is Shay Berry, and I'm a marketing manager here at Glassdoor. And with me is Allison Haddon, Director of Product Marketing at Glassdoor. And we're just going to walk you through some of the awesome content and information that you can expect to learn from some of these rock stars in employer branding. So just to kick things off, I thought I would start by asking Allison a couple questions, since it's only a little bit over a week until our Employer Branding Summit live stream. So I wanted to start off by asking Allison how this event came to be.
Well, hello, Shay. So happy to be joining you, and hello to everyone who is on the line. We've got a ton of people who are interested in finding out what is going to be happening next Friday at our Employer Branding Summit here in San Francisco. That is going to be live streamed globally for anyone that registers for free online. Just to let people know, they can pop in and out that day next Friday and watch whichever speakers they think are interesting or whenever they have a free moment. And anyone that registers to watch the live stream is also going to have access after September 12th to all of the fantastic video and presentation content delivered by the speakers that we've got up there on the screen right now. You can register online at employers.glassdoor.com, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later. But to answer your question, Shay, how did this event come about? Well, in looking at kind of the level of transparency that candidates are really demanding today from employers, we recognize that employer branding is having so much more of an impact on the ability to attract and recruit and even retain top talent in today's modern recruiting landscape. And when we looked at the top people in the industry, the thought leaders, if you will, we said, you know what, wouldn't it be fantastic if we could pull together all of these big brains, all of these people who represent companies that really have understood employer branding before it caught on to the masses. What if we could get all of them in the same room and have them share in a very unconference-like format, short, dynamic presentations, followed by really fantastic moderated Q&A with people in the audience, and have it be really an incredibly impactful one-day event that would have people walk away with best practices, insight into really the future of employer branding, tools and technologies to leverage if you're not right now. And then we wanted to make sure that we could create a free event that would have the ability for anyone who's in HR, talent acquisition, employer branding, PR communications, or anybody in the C-suite at any size company be able to take advantage of the event and not just only have people in one room be the ones that get to take advantage of everything that's happening. So that's kind of how it started. It was really great to start to chat with the people that you see up on the screen, let them know our idea and Glassdoor wanting to host this, and really let them be center stage. And the response from the people you see up on the screen was, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. Glassdoor being sort of the leaders in employer branding, it's a fantastic forum, and this group of people that we've gathered together are really, really like the A-team, if you will, when it comes to employer branding today. So it's really, really exciting. I cannot wait. I can't believe it's just about 1 week away. And as you can see from the group of people that are up there, and once I go through a little bit about the type of presentations they're going to be doing, and also the live Q&A that's going to be happening in the room following every presentation, and then also integrating the people who are watching on the live stream through a special Twitter hashtag, I think it's going to be a really, really fantastic event. I'm super excited.
Excellent. So you kind of already answered this a little bit, Allison, but what really is the #1 thing that we're hoping to achieve with this summit?
Oh my gosh, how could I choose just one? The #1 thing I think we want to achieve, and we being Glassdoor and the people who are going to be standing up there, is to have a huge impact on a global scale and really shed light on, if your employer branding isn't a priority right now, having people recognize and be able to share with other people on their team that it should be. Give them data and tools and resources and arm them with the content after the event that's going to help those people go to other groups within their org and help get budget and help get resources, and really start to have that domino effect from just one day of really fantastic content that's going to be able to spread and help all those companies that maybe don't have a focus on employer branding, don't recognize the importance, are fighting for budget, and no one seems to understand. If we can arm them with the tools and the information and the data to help them get resources, from my perspective, that would be a win.
Excellent. And like Allison said, the whole thing will be live streamed, and we encourage you to pick the sessions that resonate the most with you, or spend the whole day with us, just learning more about your employer brand and diving into some of the challenges surrounding how to build such a successful brand. And we just really encourage you to join that conversation. So on your screen right now, you should be seeing the link to where you can register for the live stream of the event. Like Allison mentioned, it's employers.glassdoor.com/GD Summit. There's a whole website there. You can find out more. You can see the agenda, all that good stuff. So make sure you do that as soon as we are done here. And as you can see, we have developed a hashtag dedicated to this event. So the hashtag is #GD Summit. We're using that for this webinar today. Feel free to tweet us now. But that will be the day of hashtags. So we really want to make this interactive and encourage you to join that conversation. All right, so now let's get into it. We're going to have Allison give you a quick sneak peek of each of the sessions. So we're going to kick things off with our CEO and co-founder, Robert Hellman's session.
Yeah, so Robert, we're super excited. So for those of you that don't know, Robert, our CEO and one of the co-founders here at Glassdoor, he really is a embodiment of this idea of transparency and power to the people, and essentially giving people information that was otherwise behind closed doors or held under lock and key so that people can make better decisions. Our co-founder, Robert, along with Rich Barton, another co-founder, and Tim Bessie, two of them came from Expedia, where they were the first ones that sort of said, let's get this information around travel and how you can book hotels and how you can leverage pricing when you bundle things together. Let's give that information that was only in the hands of travel agents. Let's give that to the people. And Expedia was one of the first companies. Now we're used to it with those travel sites, but Expedia was one of the first ones that gave that information to the people so that they could make better purchase decisions when it came to travel. Rich Barton, our second co-founder, was also a co-founder of Zillow, which many people know as the place for transparency when it comes to real estate. You go to Zillow to basically make better decisions about buying and selling your home. And before Zillow, that information was really only held by real estate brokers. And so Glassdoor is now sort of the place where these fantastic leaders have decided to put their mark and disrupt the industry and shed a light on what it's really like to work places through user-generated content, enabling people to make better decisions about some of the most important decisions in their life when it comes to their career and essentially their jobs. So we're really excited because he's going to talk a little bit about his experience at Expedia, the foundation of that value of transparency, and really how excited he is to bring that here to this new space in careers and then also recruiting for employers. Next up, we've got Lars Smith, who is the CEO of Amplified Talent. We are really excited to have Lars. He's not only going to be really doing our keynote presentation and kicking off the day, he's going to be the master of ceremonies for the summit. Lars comes from NPR. He currently is at Amplified Talent, which is his own consultancy. And his session is going to be called The Future is Now, Reimagining Recruiting. Lars has spoken pretty much anything when it comes to employer branding in the last couple of years. Lars is there. He has a fantastic reputation. We're thrilled to have him help run the day. And his session, the way he's described it, he said, recruiting has a problem. We get so hung up on what's next that we lose sight of what's now. In this TED Talk, Amplify Talent founder Lars Schmidt examines what recruiting might look like if it was designed from the ground up today based on current conditions, capabilities, and candidate behaviors. This session will provide a glimpse into what the future of recruiting could look like today. So I'm super excited. I've seen his presentation. I've gotten a sneak peek myself. It's going to be fantastic. And Lars, as I said, is also going to be involved throughout the day doing moderated Q&A sessions with every single speaker at the end of each session, so that we've got a really fantastic, high energy event thanks to Lars. So next up, we have got Josh Burson, the principal and founder of Burson by Deloitte, one of the foremost thought leaders and analysts when it comes to HR technology. So Josh, his session is going to be called Simply Irresistible. Are you? I know I am personally, but I think Josh is talking about you as an employer. The way he describes his session, he says, how do you build a simply irresistible organization? In this presentation, Josh Burson, principal and founder of Burson by Deloitte, will present the company's new research on the simply irresistible model for 21st century employee engagement. He'll also introduce brand new research based on Glassdoor data, which shows why and how your Glassdoor ratings directly predict your own business performance. Yeah, I was taking a look at his session yesterday. Lots of new research. We've been working with Josh to get him data from the information that we collect on Glassdoor, and really, really interesting to hear his insights on how the ratings on Glassdoor correlate to business performance, and also sharing some really fantastic ideas on how you can make your company simply irresistible. Next up, we have got Brian Cheney, who is currently a sourcing executive at IBM. His session is going to be called 3 Secrets to Employer Brand Storytelling. And the way Brian describes his session, he says, nothing is a greater affirmation of who we are than when we connect through stories. This allows us to experience the similarities we have with one another. Is that the secret sauce in employer brand storytelling that activates the belly fire inside each of us? Brian Cheney shares 3 of his not-so-secret observations of some of the best raconteurs. So super excited for that. Sounds fantastic. Next up, we have got, let's see, we've got Jennifer Tharp. Super excited. Jennifer Tharp, who is running talent acquisition and technology at AT&T. Her presentation called Content is King, Distribution is Queen, Content Marketing for Recruitment. Everyone's been hearing about, marketing is recruiting, recruiting is marketing, and she's going to really lay it out when it comes to the importance of fantastic integrated content in your ability to recruit top talent today. Jennifer describes her session and says, candidates are looking for more these days in making decisions about a potential employer. In a world of readily available information, the job description and About Us section of your career site is simply not enough. She says, get ahead and find top talent by developing a content marketing strategy. This session will explore best practices, approaches, and tools you can use to develop the right strategy for your company, one that focuses on creating a connection with your candidates through the curation, creation, and distribution of original and engaging content. Super exciting. Really excited for that. Next up, we have our own Will Staney here at Glassdoor, who is going to be announcing the 2014 Talent Warriors. This is the second year that Glassdoor has run these awards. We actually have a couple speakers that are going to be at the summit who are 2013 Talent Warriors. So Will Staney being one of them, he will pass the torch on and announce the winners of the 2014 awards. The way it was described is, these awards recognize industry leaders for innovation when it comes to winning the war on talent. And this is going to be a really exciting announcement that we will be streaming live to thousands of people globally.
And we will also have Will talk to you about another exciting announcement that we have coming up. We are going to be hitting the road. We have not released any information on this yet, so make sure you tune in to hear about which cities we'll be hitting with our first ever Glassdoor Roadshow.
Yeah, next up, we've got If Seuss Was Alive in 2005. We've got 2 fantastic leaders from Sodexo, Ari Ball and Anthony Scarpino, who are going to be talking about Dr. Seuss, the way they describe it, they say Seuss had it easy. He rhymed cat with hat. Were he alive in 2005, he may have written more about savvy recruiters who were connecting online through the use of computers. In the years to follow, he would have been more vocal about those using social and how things were more mobily, not just locally but also globally. He would have praised those using technology in a way that was responsibly, or would it be responsively, and how the secret to their sanity was to handily and happily connect it all to strategy. Really exciting to see what they're going to come up with, and we've got that dynamic duo from Sodexo that we're really excited about.
Lots of rhyming.
Lots of rhyming. Rhyming. Next up, we've got Jen Powell from Deloitte. She runs talent acquisition and branding. She's going to be talking about, and I think a lot of people will be interested in this, infinite possibilities, sounds great, limited budget, optimizing your branding resources. I'm super excited for this session because I know there are going to be many people who are listening today, many people who will be joining the live stream, and even people who are going to be in the room that day, next Friday, here in San Francisco, who are saying, I don't have any resources, I don't have any budget allocated to employer branding, I can't get it, and I don't foresee us getting a line item for that anytime soon. So Jen describes her session and says, with so much focus being placed on the value of the employer brand and new solutions being delivered daily to enhance the brand, it can be overwhelming to know where to invest. What works for one organization may not necessarily work for another, so understanding your candidates and their behavior is the key to developing a successful branding strategy. Building your own market research and telling the story of your candidate pool is an important foundation to enabling a data-driven approach to recruitment brand that will yield the greatest return on investment. In this Ignite session, we'll talk about collecting and leveraging your own data to build business cases and stop wasting time on money on activities that aren't valued by your candidates. We're really excited because during this segment, we're going to have 3 presenters, Jen being one of them, who is going to deliver their content in a really interesting way where they will have 20 slides that are on an auto forward that they're not controlling, that's going to happen in 10 minutes. So 20 slides, 10 minutes, it's going to be really high energy. It's going to be followed by a moderated Q&A with the audience and with people who are following on Twitter by Lars, and Jen's going to kick that off, so we're super excited. Next up, we've got Getting Your Brand Out of the Box by Stacey Zapar, who is currently with Zappos.com, amongst many other employer branding leaders when it comes to different companies that she consults with. She's doing social recruiting and branding for Zappos, and she describes her session as employer branding is all about telling a story and giving candidates a chance to peek between the blinds to gain an insider's perspective into life at your company. Posting on social media is a great way to do that, but there's so much more you can do. Learn what the Inside Zappos team has done to engage with prospective employees through creative, out-of-the-box methods focused on authenticity, transparency, and fun. Lots of actionable tips and easy-to-implement ideas that you can roll out to your company. Yeah, I was going through it with Stacey and some other people at Zappos yesterday, and she's got some really fantastic tips, many of which don't cost anything, that are easy ways to really promote the authenticity and transparency of the company that today's candidates are looking for. So really excited about that. We've got Shannon Smedstad, now with CEB, the Corporate Executive Board. So Shannon is doing a session on using video to share your company story and attract talent. Shannon says, when it comes to attracting qualified talent, organizations need to do more than just post jobs. To just be hiring isn't enough. Recruitment marketers must start to brand for influence versus mass appeal. Video offers companies the opportunity to showcase what makes them unique through the voices of their people. A well-executed video strategy can help persuade top talent while dissuading the rest. In this session, you'll watch excerpts from employer videos, discuss step-by-step what it takes to produce a compelling video, and learn some of the best ways to increase video views without breaking the bank. Nice. Super excited about that. And then, well, after we've listened to all of these fantastic employer branding thought leaders from companies with definitely the kind of brand awareness that not everybody has, the question might be for many people, well, my employer brand sucks, so now what? I will be sharing what to do if your employer brand is not where you want it to be. If you either don't have the brand awareness, you are having some challenges when it comes to your company reputation, or you have no employer brand presence and no resources, where can you even start? What I'll do is I'll talk about how to do an employer brand audit without having it cost the company any money to determine what is your employer brand looking like today and how does it stack up against your competitors. We'll figure out, is your employer brand basically the perception of candidates today? Is it consistent and aligned with what your company is really like? And I'll share some tips on how to do that. And then most importantly, I'll say, then what do you do? Once you know where your employer brand is, how it stacks up against competitors, if it exists at all, and then if it's really aligned with what your company is really like, how can you start to get involved in the conversation, broadcast that employer brand through multiple different channels, and potentially do it for zero budget if you don't have anything allocated to employer branding today.
Awesome. Thanks, Allison, for walking us through all that. Again, we wanted to just give you guys this link again. You will actually receive it in a follow-up email to this webinar, so you will have access to register right away. But in case you're too antsy because that piqued your interest, feel free to sign up now. We are really excited about this event and can't wait to see everybody online. Also, like we mentioned before, we want to make this very social, so make sure you're following Glassdoor at GD for Employers. Again, that hashtag for the day will be hashtag GD Summit.
I want to give a shout out to @HuntingDonuts, who just tweeted and said, watch him drop the mic. He mentioned the retweet that GD for Employers just sent out and said, this is Lars Schmidt, our MC, will speak about the future of recruiting and be our MC, hashtag GD Summit, and he included, or she included, a pic. So thanks so much, Hunting Donuts. Would encourage everyone to, again, go on Twitter, use the hashtag GD Summit, take a look for more exciting information that's going to be coming out from our Twitter handle at GD for Employers, and also look for my Twitter handle as well at Allison Haddon, and feel free to reach out to me directly. We are super, super excited again for this event. Reminder, go to employers.glassdoor.com/GD Summit to register today. It doesn't cost anything. Fantastic opportunity to pop in and out next Friday, take advantage of the great content that's going to be there, and then be able to access the videos and the presentations after the event so you can share with your team, and again, isn't going to cost you a thing.
And one more note to that, make sure, even if you can't make it throughout the day, or you might only be able to make it to one section, just make sure you register, because you will receive a follow-up email with the links to all of these awesome videos and a showcase for that. So if anybody has any questions, we'll stay on for another minute, but we just want to thank you for joining us today. If you can't tell, we are very excited about this event. Feel free to tweet us if you have any questions at all. But we just want to thank you all again for joining us today. So have a great rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you online next Friday.